to become an owner-operator, I feel like you should take the time to learn those things. Some people that'll drive for 6 months, 8 months, a year, they want to buy a truck. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to be talking about little tips and tricks and how to become an owner-operator or a lease driver, and what I kind of learned over the years from my experience. I got some friends, family, as you all know, that are in this industry. I was born and raised around it. So I do have some business smarts when it comes to things, and I know how to get her done. So I don't claim to know everything, but I do know a little bit, and everyone's going to have their own opinion and different ways of looking at stuff. So we're going to talk about that. I've got a lot of comments and guys messaging me, asking me, and I gave them some pointers, so I figured I'd just share it with everyone, get it out there. So we're just going to cruise up the road here. We're heading for home, and yeah, let's do a little bit of chit-chat and get her done. If you haven't smashed that subscribe button yet, hit that subscribe button, comment, like, share the videos, blow it up. You can look down in the description bio underneath the video here, and you'll see my Instagram. We also started a TikTok. We're just having some fun with some different platforms, so check us out on everything. Hit me up, follow me, we can talk. So let's get on up the road, and we're going to talk about a serious topic that a lot of guys want to know about. So how to become an owner-operator or a lease driver. A lot of guys ask it, new guys getting into the industry. And some guys are, you know, it's overwhelming. You get your license, you got a lot to worry about. You start driving. A lot of guys, they hear things and they hear the numbers. Well, dollar signs talk, but it can't always be about the dollar signs. So I'm going to kind of talk about how I got into it, along with what I feel is the right way and wrong way, but it's going to relate to everybody. And like I said, yes, people are going to have their own opinion or own ways of looking at it. I'm going to give my opinion along with what I would have changed to do things better and more efficient. So when you first get your license, get driving truck, a lot of guys hear the dollars, the numbers, they hear people talking. So you got some people that'll drive for 6 months, 8 months, a year. They want to buy a truck. Well, it's all and good, but the thing is, if you aren't someone that's been raised around this stuff and you already knew about trucking or say maintenance or anything truck related, if you haven't had that opportunity, I feel like you should take the time to learn those things. There's not a day that goes by, and I'm sure a lot of the older generation, they're gonna agree with me. I was always told, my pop always told me, he drove truck for many years, traveled the world. If you don't learn something new every day, then what was the point of that day? And it's true. No matter who you are or how good you think you are, you're going to learn something new every day. And, you know, within reason. Maybe not every single day, but you will. Sorry, we're getting a phone call there. So, getting into it, take the time to learn what you got to do, the paperwork, a little bit about the maintenance. I'm not saying you need to know how to rebuild a motor or tranny, but little things. You know, how to identify what parts are on your truck and narrow down if there's a problem and you're stuck on the side of the road. You should be able to call a mechanic or call your dispatcher, your company, and at least identify roughly what that problem is. So, you know, if you got an air leak, you should be able to know how to figure out where that air leak is and hopefully have the tools to fix it. So that's the first step. Take time to learn the job, learn trucks, get comfortable with shifting, because a lot of truck driving schools and everyone learn on automatics this day and age, and I can almost guarantee if you're a younger guy getting into it or you're all into cool trucks, you're probably not going to buy an automatic if you're an owner operator. Might not always be true, but I'm just guessing. So it's first step. Second step is explore your options. What do you want to do? Do you want to do flatbed, reefer, livestock, anything, right? You got to think about your options. What attracts you to do a certain job, or why do you want to do it? For me personally, I've done reefer, I've done drive-in. I find that you're going to do some waiting, usually. Maybe not every day, but you're more prone to wait at, say, a distribution center for food, opposed to somebody that is pulling flatbed. There's a less chance of you sitting around waiting for loads or waiting for a trailer to be loaded and this and that. So that's a big thing. Figure out what you want to do. Now, the best thing I feel is if you go work for a company that hires owner-operators, work there for a year or two, you know, learn the job, know what kind of people are around you, and learn things. So, like, if you're going to do the same lanes as far as where you're going, keep a book on you and write down. You know, if you're talking to other owner-operators that work at that company, write down, hopefully they're not lying to you, but write down what they're roughly making in a book. And then write down your fuel. So how much fuel are you putting in to, say, go from Ontario to Chicago, Chicago back to Ontario? So then you have a rough idea what you're going to be making. Talk to people. Find out what their insurance is. Do they pay tolls? Do they pay bridge crossings? Find out all those things, then you can roughly figure out what you're going to make. And then become an owner-operator with that company, because then you know everyone. You're comfortable with them. They know how you run, and you know how they operate. Finding a company that has dedicated customers, whether it's flatbed, reefer, drive-in, livestock, anything, dedicated customers, because typically you're always going to have work coming in, always. Like for what I'm doing, we have dedicated customers, so we stay hopping pretty good. I don't sit around and wait ever, really. So that's good. And then as far as buying a truck, you want to find the right truck. It's key and it's important. You want to, when you're looking at buying a truck, you gotta, I feel like you need to look at a lot of different things. You want something that's going to make you happy, and it's a long-term investment. So you want something that's going to get reasonable fuel mileage, Which if you're going for the cool factor, like a flat top, pulling a roll tight like I do, you're not going to get the best fuel mileage. So you want to try to get something that's going to be decent on fuel. When you're buying a truck, see if the dealership or the person you're buying it from has the records on it. The more records, the better. Then there's nothing being hid. So like if the motor was done, tranny, rear ends, all that big stuff, make sure you see the records of when that stuff was done, because those things are very costly. And if you got to replace those in the first little bit, even the first year of being an owner-operator is probably going to be the absolute hardest. So you want as many records as possible. Try to get a truck with decent tires on it, brakes, all that stuff. And you're going to have general maintenance, small things. It's going to happen. But if you can try to prevent the big things from happening in your first year, then you should be good. Like for me, for an example, I bought my truck. It wasn't a terrible price. But then there was emissions problems at the beginning. And then 7 months into owning the truck, my motor went. So, yeah, I took a few steps back. But there was records on this truck. But a lot of it, I think, was Mickey Mouse. Like, there was a lot of things that were hid up. That it looked like it was done proper, but it really wasn't. So, that's key. Now, as far as down payments on trucks, all that stuff goes, something I wish I had did a little different. The more money you have saved up, the better. So I know it might not be easy as a company guy. Starting off, try not to rely on credit so much. A lot of us guys have to. You know, things happen. Life happens. I don't care who you are, like, chances are you have some kind of debt of some form in your life. Whether it's a vehicle, big truck, you know, anything. You're making payments on a lawnmower, like, I don't, anything, right? So, try not to rely on credit. If you need a credit card, whatever, and that's for replacing a belt on the side of the road, which I don't recommend. A lot of you guys that know me, I recommend you, one thing about buying a truck, if you got to change, say, a belt, they're not that much money, they're easy to change. Have a wrench on you, maybe a screwdriver if you need it. And if you got to replace a belt, go right away. Always keep belts in your truck. At least one of each, whatever you have. For a motor, like me, I have two. I have a bigger one, a smaller one. So if you're replacing one of them, go buy another one right away, because it's something so easy that then you don't have to pay a service call and this and that and the markup on the parts. So as far as all that stuff goes, if you need your credit card for that one, you're on the road, that's one thing. But as far as going and purchasing a truck, try to get a good interest rate if you're financing. Have your down payment. So obviously down payments vary on the price of the truck you're looking at. And if you can, try to have bare minimum. Try to have $10,000 sitting in your bank account. Like in your savings or whatever. And then you're always usually going to have to wait for your paychecks, right? Whether it's a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, every company's different. There's some companies here in Ontario that they hold 5 weeks of pays. Then you get paid either on the 5th week or the 6th week. So that's a hard pill to swallow. So you want to make sure you have at least $10,000 saved up over and above your down payment if you can. I know it's not easy, guys, sometimes. worth of your bills in your bank account at all times. So if all your household bills are $3,000, try to have $3,000 sitting in your bank account over and above that rest of that money. And it will make your life easier, I promise. Now sure, like, the reality of it is, if you buy a dud truck, or you buy a truck that's going to need a motor after a month, 2 months. And I know guys that have bought trucks and had to do motors within a month. And I don't care who you are. That is, like I said, it's a hard pill to swallow. Your 10 grand isn't going to save you. You're probably going to have to finance it or use credit. It's going to happen. But if you can put a reasonable down payment on the motor and not have to roll so much into, say, your loan or whatever the case is, it's better. Now, as far as starting off, going from a company guy to an owner-operator, I feel like if you can buy a decent truck and try to keep your payments around $2,000 a month, that's better. If the truck's reasonable, like it's solid, and you can keep your payments at that, try to pay it off in 2-3 years, then upgrade, and hopefully it's good for that entire span for you, then you're doing good. You know, my payments are pretty hefty on this, but that is because of the motor. I put a big chunk down, but we still put rolled 20 grand of it into the truck, or into the payment. So it is what it is. I'm not telling you guys what to do. I'm just telling, you know, the new guys getting into the industry, and, you know, drop comments. The new guys, comment on this video. Some of the guys have been driving truck for a while. Maybe they can, you know, comment and talk to you guys too and give you their outlook on everything. It's not easy. Don't buy a truck because you think you're going to get rich. It's not going to happen. I'm here to tell you, it will not happen. Can you provide and give a good life to your family? Absolutely. I'm not going to dispute that. Now, I started driving truck when I was 19. So if you're a young guy getting into this, say you live at home with your parents, you don't have a lot of overhead, and you drive for a year, maybe a year and a half, you know the trucks, you know what's what on a truck, and you have the knowledge. It's stupid things like, you know, if you're going up a big hill and you got a heavy load on, a lot of guys don't do this. Like, they don't care if you're running a company truck, you don't think about it. I was that guy at one time. You know, flicking your engine fan on if you're going up a steep hill. A lot of guys don't do it. It's good for the truck. Just put the engine fan on if you're climbing a big hill and you're heavy. But it's little things like that. So take the time. But if you're a young guy with low overhead costs, save up a bunch of money. As a company guy, run hard, and in a year and a half, I totally encourage you guys to buy a truck. Because like I said, if you're living at home with your parents, you own or you're making payments, or you own a transport, big rig, well, what's holding you back? Go trucking for, sorry, I had to make a lane change. Go trucking for a week, 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks at a time. Get her done while you're young. Because then by the time you're my age, you're 30, you're going to have your time in, you're going to make some good money. You should be in the position where you could maybe not slack off, but you can take it easy for a bit, start a family, and live comfortably. Probably have a truck, 2 trucks paid off from the time you're, say, 21 to 30. There's lots of guys we make it out here, but fuel prices are going up. I know some parts are even hard to find through the pandemic, everything. We keep our trucks rolling. You gotta get home. You gotta start thinking. If you're gonna do this, you gotta think as an owner operator. You won't be a company guy anymore. When you go home, You gotta do preventable maintenance. You gotta look over your truck and take that time out of your weekend to do that quickly. It sucks because you want to spend time with family or whatever your case is, but you have to do it, because then you're gonna, if not, you could have things go wrong on the road, and service calls aren't cheap. I know in Ontario they're not. And it's stupid things. Guys don't think about this, but in Ontario, something dumb happens on your truck and you break down in, say, a construction zone, say a single lane construction zone going through the 401, the busiest highway in North America, believe it or not, if you actually look it up. You break down a single lane road through construction, your tow bill will be, it'll be insane. It'll blow your mind. And I don't know all the details, but I've had some guys tell me that do towing. Do not ever, if you can baby your truck to get through a construction zone before you pull over or your truck shuts off, do it. So you always got to be thinking about that stuff. You can't just shut the door and walk away. Some weekends, yes, I do it, but I check over my truck. Things still happen, doesn't matter. You can't prevent everything. So ask yourself why you want to do it. Don't do it for the money. This is not a job, it's a lifestyle. Some people get into this industry because they love it, because they're raised around it. That's cool. That's how we did it. That's how everyone in my family did it. But there's other guys that do it because, say, the government will pay for them to get their license because they're unemployed. Those aren't the guys that want to be driving a truck. They're the guys that have heard about the money, that thinks this is just the best thing there is. To me, it is the best thing. It provides a good life. Some guys are buried in debt, but that only lasts so long. Eventually it'll stop, or the pressure it'll ease off. You work hard, stick your nose straight, and keep on going. Don't worry about what other people are doing. You can get caught up with people at companies very easy. They always want to know what you're doing because they're worried you're going to make more money than them. Don't be that guy. Stay focused, stay straight, keep on trucking. The only person you need to worry about is you, your family, your livelihood. But you got to think about it. You can't just get in this industry as an owner-operator and think you're going to make millions and hundreds of thousands of dollars in a year. Yes, you're making money, but you got to spend it too, because if not, the government takes it. You can't just not do anything to your truck. Sometimes you have to do upgrades. You got to put some money back into your business. So that's a little bit about kind of what I feel is the best way. Like I said, make sure you're getting the right truck, get the maintenance reports, see what's been done to it, figure out what you want to do, whether it's reefer, flatbed, livestock, tanker. Get your experience. That's number one. Get the experience. Like I said, I feel like if you are a company driver for a year and a half, maybe even 2 years, then you should be ready. Take your time. Don't rush, because it's a little bit different than being a company guy. You can't just turn the key off, shut the door, and walk away. It's not how it works. It's all on you. It's your problem if something happens. So take the proper steps. Like I said, everyone's going to have their own opinion. Everyone can comment below this video, chit-chat with each other. And no two people think the same. It doesn't happen. Some guys do, but it doesn't always happen. So the way I look at something might be a different way that someone else looks at it. My uncle's been an owner-operator his whole life. And sometimes we'll do stuff on the trucks together, or whatever. We'll be talking, and he's been doing this longer than me. I learned from him, but there is some times that I look at stuff different, and sometimes I teach him things, right? I'm a bit more organized, and we kind of just trade off what we know. No one's perfect, no one knows everything. We're all in this together. We're brothers of the highway. Some of us are steering wheel holders, other guys out here, we do it because we love it. We do it because it's not just a job. It's a lifestyle. Don't forget that, guys. So like I said, comment down below. I'll answer any questions. You can message me on Instagram. Check out the TikTok. Been having some fun on there. And yeah, stay tuned for the next video. I hope this video helped you guys and some of the new guys getting into the industry. And if I missed anything, do not hesitate to contact me. You know I will always answer you guys. Might not be right away, but I will answer you. So stay tuned for the next video. Like, subscribe, drop the comments. Let's push this video out there for the new guys, and help everyone out. We're all in this together.